Tyler has been my best friend since I was 5. We lived on the same street and grew up together. Our parents were friends. We took a DNA test for fun. We turned out to be half brothers. We share 50% of our DNA. My dad cheated on my mom with his mom 30 years ago. Let's call me Josh. I'm 26 years old. I live in Austin, Texas. This is the story of how one DNA test shattered everything I thought I knew about my life. I need to start with Tyler, because without understanding our friendship, it's impossible to understand the scale of the shock. We met when I was 5. My family had just moved to the Austin suburbs, a quiet street, nice houses, a safe neighborhood for kids. Right across the street from our new house lived a family, a single mother named, let's call her Rachel, and her son, Tyler, who was 6 years old. I remember that day clearly. My mom took me across the street to meet the neighbors. Josh, this is Tyler. He's a year older than you. Maybe you two could be friends. Tyler was standing on the porch, holding a toy car. He looked at me and smiled. I want to see my cars. I have 23 of them. We went into his room. He showed us his collection of toy cars. We built a track out of pillows. From that day on, we were inseparable. Every day after kindergarten, I ran across the street to Tyler. We played in the yard. We built forts out of boxes. We rode bikes down the street. When we started school, Tyler in first grade, me in preschool, we rode the same school bus. We always sat next to each other. We're best friends forever, Tyler said seriously. Forever, I agreed. Like brothers. Like brothers. That became our catchphrase. We repeated it constantly. We truly felt like brothers, even though we weren't related, or so we thought. Now, knowing the truth, I realize how strange our family's relationship was. My father, let's call him Steve, was unusually attentive to Rachel and Tyler. If something broke in Rachel's house, Dad would immediately go and fix it. Steve, my faucet is leaking. Could you take a look? Sure, Rachel, I'll be right there. If her garden needed mowing, Dad would do it. If Rachel's car wouldn't start, Dad would fix it. Rachel's raising a child alone, he'd explain to Mom. We need to help the neighbors. That's right. My mother, let's call her Susan, was also friendly with Rachel. They drank coffee together in the mornings. They discussed the kids' school life. Rachel often came over for dinner. We came over for dinner. On holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, we were always together. Two families, like one big family. I grew up thinking it was a perfectly normal relationship between neighbors and friends. Mom never seemed suspicious or unhappy. She sincerely loved Rachel as a friend. Now I understand Mom didn't know. All those years, she didn't know the truth, and my father and Rachel kept quiet. They played the good neighbor role. They hid the secret for 27 years. Tyler wasn't just a friend. He was my hero. A year older, smarter, stronger, braver. In high school, the friendship didn't weaken, despite the girls' and different interests. Tyler's girlfriend was Casey. Mine was Lisa. But we still spent time together. Double dates, foursomes to the movies. Girls come and go. Tyler said wisely. But you and I are brothers forever. Forever. I agreed. Tyler's graduation. I was there, cheering louder than anyone as he received his diploma. My graduation a year later. Tyler was there, shouting my name. After high school, we went to different colleges. Tyler went to the University of Texas at Austin, majoring in computer science. I went to Texas A&M University, majoring in finance. Different cities, but we called each other weekly. We saw each other during breaks. The friendship never weakened. Distance didn't matter. After college, we both returned to Austin. Tyler got a job as a software engineer at a large tech company. The salary was $110,000 per year. I became a financial analyst at an investment firm. The salary was $85,000. We rented apartments in the same area of Austin. We deliberately chose apartments close to each other. We saw each other several times a week. Tuesday sports bar, watching football. Friday dinner somewhere. Sunday hike or bike ride. My girlfriend Emma often complained, Josh, you spend more time with Tyler than with me. He's my best friend. Like a brother. I know, sometimes you just want to be a priority. I tried to find a balance. But Tyler had been a part of my life for 21 years. Since I was 5. You can't just cut him out. My parents, both mine and Rachel's, were happy that we remained so close into adulthood. You're like family, Mom would say with a smile. Like family, Rachel would agree. Yes, we were family, literally family. It's just that no one was telling the truth. 3 months ago, everything changed. A typical Tuesday evening. Tyler and I were at a sports bar watching a Dallas Cowboys game. Beer, wings, a typical evening. During the commercial break, an ad for 23andMe, a DNA testing service, came on. Discover your ancestry, where your ancestors come from. Find your relatives. Tyler laughed. Look, DNA tests. Everyone's doing them now. Yeah, it's popular. My colleague did it. She found out she's 30% Irish. I'd be interested to know where we're from. Why not? Let's do it for fun. Come on. Let's bet on who has the coolest ancestry. Let's bet. The loser pays for a month's beer. They laughed. They took out their phones. They went to the 23andMe website. They ordered 2 kits. $1.99 each. Not bad for a little fun. The kits arrived a week later, small boxes with test tubes. Instructions: spit in the test tube, seal it, send it back. We did it together. In my apartment. We spit in the test tubes and laughed. In 6 weeks, we'll find out who's cooler, Tyler said. Get ready to pay for beer. I joked. The vials were sent. We forgot about it for a few weeks. We went about our daily lives. No one expected those vials to change our lives. 6 weeks later, a normal workday. I was sitting in the office working on my financial report. At 2:37 p.m., an email arrived from 23andMe. Your results are ready. I opened it with interest. A couple of minutes of distraction from my work. I logged into my account on the website. Ancestry section, 45% British Isles. 30% Germany, 15% Scandinavia, 10% Eastern Europe. Interesting. I expected something like this. European roots. I scrolled down. DNA relatives section. There was a list of people who had also taken the 23andMe test and who shared DNA with me. First person on the list, Tyler M. Relationship, close family. Sibling shared DNA, 50% relative, first degree. I stared at the screen. Very sibling, brother or sister, 50% shared DNA, first degree relative, but I don't have a brother. I'm an only child. Tyler is also an only child. Error, system glitch, 50% shared DNA. That can't be a coincidence. My heart started beating faster. I grabbed the phone. I called Tyler. Tyler, are you at work? Yes. Why? Did you get the DNA test results? Oh, right. They were supposed to come today. Just a second. Opening my email. I heard the clicking of a mouse on the phone. Okay, I see an email. Opening the website. Boys, origin HM, British Isles, Germany, nothing surprising. Tyler scrolled down. Relative section. Just a second, okay. I see the section looking at the list. Long pause. A very long pause. Josh, the voice changed. What does that mean? What do you see? Your name. It says sibling 50% DNA. I see the same thing. We brothers. That's impossible. But the test shows. Error. There must be an error. Josh, 50% shared DNA isn't an error. It means we share one parent. Silence. My brain refused to process the information. Meet me right now. We need to talk. On my way. Where? The cafe on the corner from my office. In 20 minutes. I'll be there. The cafe was packed with people on their lunch break. Noise, conversation, laughter, and we sat in the corner in complete silence, both staring at our laptops. I opened my results. Tyler opened his. Tyler M. Sibling, 50% DNA. Josh W. Sibling, 50% DNA. We stared at the screens in silence for about 5 minutes. Then Tyler quietly, 50% shared DNA. That means half brothers. What? Half brothers. One parent in common. Not two. One. How do you know that? I read an article. Full siblings, brothers from both parents share about 50% of their DNA. Half siblings, brothers from one parent share about 25%. But here, 50%, that's confusing. He was Googling on his phone, reading articles about genetics. Okay, so 50% can be true for half siblings in some cases. The exact figure ranges from 37% to 61%. We're at the upper limit. So, one common parent. Yes. Your mom is Rachel. Mine is Susan. Different women. So, we share the same father. My dad is Steve. You never knew your dad. Your mom never told you who he was. Boss, we looked at each other. You think Tyler began. That Steve is your biological father? That's the only explanation for 50% DNA. Steve cheated on your mom, Susan, with my mom, Rachel. Rachel got pregnant, gave birth to me, and they remained silent for 27 years. Silence again. Our moms were friends, Tyler said slowly. Her mom and mine drank coffee together, holidays together, and they know, both knew we were brothers. Steve always helped your mom, repaired the house, gave her money, I'm sure, was very considerate, because I'm his son. And we grew up as friends, like brothers, we used to say, because we are brothers. Literally, I put my head in my hands. I couldn't process it. What are we doing? Tyler asked, confronting our parents. All of them. Their mom, mine, demanding the truth. Together, you're my brother. We're doing this together. He nodded. That evening, we went to see my parents. I called ahead. Mom, Tyler, and I need to have a serious talk with you and Dad. Be home by 7. What about, honey? Did something happen? I'll explain when we get there. It's important. We arrived promptly at 7. Our parents greeted us wearily. They saw our faces. What happened? My father asked us. We sat down in the living room. I silently placed the printout of the DNA results on the coffee table in front of them. Tyler and I took DNA tests. For fun, Ancestry. My father's face instantly paled. He stared at the paper without touching it. My mother took the printout. She began to read. Her face changed first in comprehension, then confusion, then shock. The results show, I continued, my voice shaking, that Tyler and I are half-brothers. 50% shared DNA. We share one parent. Silence, an agonizing, oppressive silence. My mother looked at my father, then at me, then at Tyler, then at my father again. Steve, she whispered, what does this mean? My father was silent. He looked at the floor. Steve, Mom raised her voice. What does that mean? Dad, I tried to remain calm. Tyler is your son? Dad didn't answer. He continued to stare at the floor. Mom stood up. She walked over to him. Steve, answer me. Is Tyler your son? He nodded slowly. Yes, one word, but it destroyed everything. Mom staggered. She grabbed the back of the couch. You cheated on me with Rachel. That was a long time ago, 27 years ago before Josh was born. 27 years? She screamed now. You cheated on me 27 years ago and kept silent. It was one night. A mistake. I was drunk. One night. You have a son from that one night. I didn't know right away. Rachel only told me 3 months later, and you knew IT all these years. I was afraid of losing you, of losing my family. How did you think I'd know? How? I helped Rachel financially fix the house was there. You helped your lover. Mom was sobbing now. You helped her raise your child, and I didn't know. I looked at Mom. She didn't know. All these years, all this friendship with Rachel, she didn't know the truth. Mom, I began. She turned to me, her face wet with tears. 27 years, Josh. 27 years I was friends with Rachel. We drank coffee. We shared secrets. I considered her a friend. And she slept with my husband, gave birth to his child, and looked into my eyes every day and said nothing. Mom, it's not your fault. You didn't know. I should have known. She screamed, I'm your mother. I should have felt, seen something. She grabbed her purse. I'm leaving. I can't be here. Susan, wait, my father tried to get up. Don't touch me. Don't you dare touch me. She ran out of the house. She slammed the door so hard the windows shook. There were 3 of us left, me, Tyler, and my father. My father sat with his face in his hands. You destroyed 2 families. I said coldly, ours and theirs. I tried to save both, with lies. 27 years of lies. Tyler stood up. I need to talk to my mother. Now, we left, leaving my father alone. We went to Rachel's house. Tyler called her on the way. She didn't answer. We arrived. The car was in the driveway. She was home. We knocked. She opened the door a minute later. She saw our faces and immediately understood. You know, she said quietly, not a question, a statement. Yes, Tyler replied. We did DNA tests. She sighed heavily. Come in. We sat in her living room. I knew this would happen someday, she began. DNA tests are becoming so popular. I've been dreading this day for years. Why didn't you tell me? Tyler was on the verge of tears. All my life, you've been telling me my father left before I was born, that you didn't know where he was, and he lived across the street because he wasn't mine, Tyler. He was married. He had a family. But I'm your son. I had a right to know my father. Rachel sat up. She closed her eyes for a moment. Then she opened them and began to speak. It was one night. Steve and I. It was a mistake. He was drunk after a party next door. I was lonely. I was having a hard time. It just happened. And you got pregnant, Tyler said evenly. Yes, I found out after 3 months. I took a test. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. And I told Steve, yes, he had a right to know. I went to see him when Susan was at work. I told him the truth. What did he say? He was shocked, scared. He said he couldn't leave his wife, that he had a life plans. But he offered help, money, support. And Susan, I asked, my mom, did she know? Rachel shook her head. No, Steve was really afraid to tell her, afraid of losing his marriage. And I decided not to interfere with their family. Not interfere. Tyler almost screamed. Yes, not interfere. Susan is not to blame for anything. Their marriage is none of my business. It was my mistake, my pregnancy. I made the choice to raise you alone, not to destroy someone else's family. How noble, Tyler said bitterly. And I just grew up without a father. You had a father, Rachel insisted. He was there. Steve helped. He fixed the house, gave you money every month, was in your life, just as a friend, a neighbor, not as an official father. Why did you move here, across the street from them? I didn't move. I was already living here. They moved here a year after you were born. The house went on the market. Steve bought it. That's not a coincidence. Maybe he wanted to be close to you. We never discussed it directly. 27 years, I said. 27 years of you both staying silent. You and Steve, and my mom was friends with you, thinking you were just a good neighbor. I know, Rachel was crying now, and I'm so sorry. Susan's a good person. She didn't deserve this. But I really thought it would be best for everyone. Tyler stood up. You lied to me my whole life, protecting Steve, protecting his marriage. And I had a right to know the truth. You're right. I'm sorry, Tyler. We left. Update 1. 2 weeks have passed since the opening. The hardest 2 weeks of my life. Tyler and I saw each other every day, talked for hours, trying to process it. We weren't talking to our parents. None of us were. My mom temporarily moved in with her sister. She said she couldn't be under the same roof with my dad. My dad called me every day. I didn't answer. Rachel wrote Tyler a long text apologizing. He didn't answer. But Tyler and we decided not to lose each other. We were sitting in my apartment. Friday night, pizza and beer. Josh, Tyler said, we've always been like brothers. Remember, we used to say that when we were kids. I remember. Now we know we really are brothers. Not like we are brothers. Our entire friendship was built on our parents' lies. No, the friendship was real. Our connection was real. The lies were all around us. But what we felt for each other that was true. How can you accept this so calmly? Because nothing has changed between us, Josh. Yesterday you were my best friend. Today you're my best friend and my brother. That only adds to it, not subtracts. I looked at him. He was right. And your parents? I'm angry, very angry at all three of them. But I understand why they kept quiet. I'm not making excuses. I understand. They were in an impossible situation and chose the wrong path. Do you want to forgive them? Not now, but someday, maybe. We're all human. We make mistakes. We've decided distance from all our parents. But not forever. We just need time to process. And Tyler and I remain close. Brother and brother, forever. Update 2. A month has passed. My father asked to meet. He wrote a long message. Begged me to talk. I agreed. 1-on-1. We met in the park. Neutral territory. We sat on a bench. My father looked terrible. He'd lost weight. Aged 10 years. Josh, thank you for agreeing. He began. I understand you're angry. You have every right to be. You cheated on your mom. Yes, it was once. 27 years ago, before you were born. I was young, stupid, drunk. That's not an excuse. It's just a fact. One night that lasted 27 years. When Rachel told me she was pregnant, I was terrified. I wanted to go to her, to be a father to Tyler. But I was afraid of losing Susan, our life, my plans for children. Did Mom know then? No, God, no, I didn't tell her. I was too cowardly. I was afraid she'd leave. And Rachel agreed to keep quiet. Yes, she said she didn't want to ruin the marriage, that she would raise Tyler alone. I offered money, help. She agreed. And you helped secretly for 27 years. Yes, you sent money every month. You fixed her house. You were in Tyler's life as much as you could, but from afar. and Mom thought you were just a good neighbor. Yes, that was mean, Dad. I know. We sat in silence for about 5 minutes. You're a good father, Dad, I finally said. Always were. But now I see you could have been a father to two sons openly. Instead, you chose to lie. I know. That was my biggest mistake. What now? I want to make it right. Be a father to Tyler, officially. If he allows it, ask him yourself, not through me. I'm afraid he'll refuse. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but it's his choice. You deprived him of that choice for 27 years. Give him that choice now. Ed nodded. Update 3. 3 months have passed since the opening. At the suggestion of the therapist I'd started seeing individually, we began family therapy. All 5 of us, me, Tyler, Steve, Susan, Rachel. The first session was hell. Everyone was crying, screaming, blaming, but the therapist, an experienced woman in her 60s, kept everything under control. You're not here to blame each other. You're here to heal wounds and build a future. Session after session, we slowly made progress. Mom met Rachel's eyes for the first time. I trusted you. I considered you a friend. I'm sorry, Susan. I didn't mean to hurt you. But I did. 27 years of lies. I know, and there's nothing I can do to fix it. Over time, the pain lessened. The anger subsided. 2 months into therapy, something important happened. My father officially recognized Tyler as his son. He changed the documents. Tyler now officially bears our last name. We're brothers not just by blood, but by law. Update 4. It's been 6 months since the DNA tests. Life has changed completely. Dad spends time with Tyler. They go fishing, soccer games, dinners. 27 lost years, but they are trying to make up for it. Mom and Dad, they are in STEAM therapy, working on their marriage. I don't know if it will survive, but they are trying. Mom and Rachel, it's more complicated. Very stressful, but for Tyler and me, they're trying to be civil. Tyler and I are closer than ever. We used to be like brothers, he says. Now we are brothers, officially. Forever, I agree. Forever, friendship has turned into brotherhood. And that's wonderful. Update 5. It's been a year since we did the DNA tests. A year that changed everything. Tyler, my brother, officially, legally, biologically. We live in neighboring apartments. We see each other almost every day. Our bond has only grown stronger. Yet, he's a father to both of us now. He's trying to fix the past. My relationship with Tyler is building slowly, but it's building. Ma, have she forgiven her father? I don't know. They are still in therapy. They stayed together. They are trying to repair their marriage. My relationship with me has been restored. And with Tyler, too. She's accepted him as a second son. Rachel, my relationship with my mom is strained, but it exists. They're working on rebuilding trust with Tyler. Me, I've accepted the truth. I have a brother. I always have. Now I know. The best thing that ever happened to me was finding out that my best friend is my family. Question for you. 1. Were my parents right to remain silent, protecting their children? 2. And such a lie be forgiven? 3. What's better, a late truth or never? Tyler and I chose forgiveness. Slow, painful, but forgiveness nonetheless. ES. DNA tests reveal secrets. Be prepared for the truth. EDS. Family isn't just blood. It's love, but blood confirms it. EDDS. Sometimes the greatest betrayals lead to the strongest bonds. Thank you to everyone who read this story to the end.